Are you ready to dive into the juicy details of Vladimir Putin's luxury lifestyle? We know we are. In this video, we're going to spill the tea on everything from Putin's net worth to his favorite hobbies. So buckle up and get ready for a wild ride. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk a bit about Putin's background. You probably know him as the Russian president with a poker face and a penchant for shirtless horseback riding. But did you know that he used to be a KGB agent? That's right. Putin has been in the game for a long time. He's been running Russia since 2000, and he's not showing any signs of slowing down. All right, let's get to the good stuff. First up, we're going to talk about Putin's wealth. Now, we don't have access to his bank account, unfortunately, but we do have some juicy rumors to share. Apparently, Putin has a secret stash of luxury yachts, private jets, and fancy watches. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We'll also take a look at his properties, including a palace on the Black Sea that allegedly cost over $1 billion to build. Talk about living the high life. Next, we're going to explore Putin's hobbies. And let us tell you, this guy knows how to have fun. He's a black belt in judo, and he's not afraid to show off his moves. He's also a big fan of outdoor activities like fishing and hunting. And who could forget those infamous shirtless horseback riding photos? We'll take a closer look at these hobbies and try to figure out what they say about Putin's personality. Putin's wealth. All right, let's get down to business. According to various sources, Putin's net worth is estimated to be around $70 billion. That's enough money to buy a small country, or a large island at the very least. But where does all that dough come from? Well, there are a few sources. For starters, Putin owns shares in several Russian companies, including Gazprom, which is a big deal in the gas industry. He also has control over state resources, such as oil and gas reserves, which gives him a lot of power and influence in the Russian economy. But wait, there's more. There are also rumors of corruption and money laundering that have been linked to Putin's wealth. Some people believe that he's been using his position of power to line his own pockets, which is not exactly a good look. Of course, these are just allegations and have not been proven in a court of law, but they do make you wonder. Now let's talk about the fun stuff. Putin's spending habits. This guy knows how to live the high life. He reportedly owns a $35 million yacht called the Olympia that has a spa, a gym, and a movie theater. Can you imagine watching Titanic on a yacht that's worth more than the Titanic itself? He also has a collection of fancy watches, including a Patek Philippe that's worth over $500,000. That's more than most people make in a year. Putin's properties. Let's start with Putin's palace in Gelendzhik, Russia. This bad boy is worth over $1 billion and has everything from a private theater to an underground hockey rink. Yes, you read that right, an underground hockey rink. The palace also has a casino, a spa, and a helipad, because why not? The architecture and interiors of the palace are so fancy, they make the Palace of Versailles look like a shack. Let's take a look at some footage of the palace to see for ourselves. But wait, there's more. Putin also owns a mansion in Moscow that's worth around $15 million. It's located in a gated community and has a swimming pool, a sauna, and a billiards room. The mansion is more modest than the palace, but still impressive in its own right. Let's take a look at some footage of the mansion to see its architecture and interiors. And let's not forget about Putin's dachas, which are basically fancy country houses. He reportedly has several of these scattered throughout Russia, including one in Sochi that's worth around $350 million. It has its own private beach, a vineyard, and a greenhouse. The dachas are more rustic than the palace and mansion, but still luxurious in their own way. Let's take a look at some footage of the Sochi dacha to see its amenities and surroundings. But hold up, let's talk about the controversy regarding these properties before you start drooling over them. Putin's assets allegedly came into his possession through dishonest means, like bribery and embezzlement. Putin's hobbies. Let's start with hunting. Putin is an avid hunter and has been photographed and filmed on numerous occasions pursuing various game animals, such as tigers, bears, and wild boars. Hunting is a popular pastime in Russia, and it has a long history and cultural significance in the country. For many Russians, hunting is not just a sport or a leisure activity, but also a way to connect with nature and preserve traditional values. Putin's love for hunting reflects his attachment to the Russian countryside and his desire to promote its conservation and development. But hunting is not without its controversies. Critics argue that it's an elitist and cruel activity that promotes violence and destruction. They also point out that Putin's hunting expeditions are often staged and choreographed for propaganda purposes, and that they don't reflect the reality of hunting in Russia. Moreover, some animal rights activists have accused Putin of using his power and influence to protect and promote the interests of hunting clubs and wealthy hunters at the expense of wildlife and the environment. Moving on to fishing, Putin is also a passionate angler and has been seen fishing in various locations, from rivers to lakes to the sea. Fishing is another popular pastime in Russia, and it has a similar cultural and symbolic significance as hunting. For many Russians, fishing is not just a way to catch fish, but also a way to relax, socialize, and enjoy the beauty of nature. Putin's love for fishing reflects his appreciation for the simple pleasures of life and his desire to connect with ordinary Russians. However, fishing is not immune to criticism either. Some environmentalists argue that overfishing and pollution are threatening the sustainability of fish populations and the health of aquatic ecosystems. They also point out that Putin's fishing expeditions are often accompanied by large entourages and expensive equipment, which can have a negative impact on the environment and local communities. Moreover, some critics have accused Putin of using fishing as a political tool to project an image of strength and masculinity, and to distract from more pressing issues in Russian society. Last but not least, let's talk about Putin's martial arts skills. Putin is a black belt in judo and has been practicing the sport since he was a teenager. He's also a fan of other combat sports, such as sambo and karate. Martial arts have a long and rich history in Russia, and they're considered a symbol of strength, discipline, and national identity. Putin's passion for martial arts reflects his admiration for these values and his desire to promote them both domestically and internationally. However, martial arts are not without their critics either. Some people argue that they promote violence and aggression, and that they're not suitable for a leader of a modern and civilized country. They also point out that Putin's martial arts skills are often exaggerated and used for propaganda purposes, and that they don't reflect the reality of martial arts in Russia. Moreover, some human rights activists have accused Putin of using martial arts as a tool of repression and intimidation against political opponents and dissidents. Putin's controversies. One of the most scandalous controversies that Putin has been involved in is the annexation of Crimea. This move was met with international condemnation and sparked a conflict that is still ongoing. But that's not all. Putin has also been accused of ordering the assassination of political opponents, such as Alexander Litvinenko and Boris Nemtsov. Yikes! These actions have raised serious concerns about Putin's commitment to democracy and human rights. And if that wasn't enough, Putin has also been accused of suppressing free speech and limiting the freedom of the press in Russia. Talk about a scandalous track record. So what impact has Putin's luxurious lifestyle had on public opinion? Well, it's complicated. Some Russians see Putin's wealth as a sign of his success and view him as a strong leader who is capable of protecting their interests. Others, however, see his lifestyle as a symbol of corruption and excess, and believe that it is a reflection of the problems that exist within the Russian government. Either way, Putin's lifestyle has definitely contributed to the controversies that surround him. We've talked about Putin's involvement in the annexation of Crimea, which sparked a conflict that is still ongoing. We've also discussed the accusations of political assassinations and the suppression of free speech in Russia. But let's be real, we all secretly want to know what it's like to live like Putin, right? So, what does the luxury lifestyle of Vladimir Putin look like? It's a question that has no easy answer. But we've given you some insights into the world of Putin's lavish living. And let's be honest, we're all a little bit jealous of his luxurious lifestyle, right? In conclusion, we hope that this video has given you some juicy details about the controversies and scandals surrounding Vladimir Putin, and has shed some light on his luxurious lifestyle. We invite you to share your own opinions and questions in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.